Bio. How the body works. Physiology literally means function, or how the body does what it does. Let's just call it bio for short. Bio involves the shape you're in, your age, experience, eyesight, hand-eye control, muscle memory, brain function, breathing, and much more. In combat, the adrenaline effect raises the heart rate, and above a certain level, your hearing shuts down, higher logic functions shut down, your vision narrows, and your body prepares you for fighting, running, and possible injury. During the fight. In a life-threatening situation, the intended victim's fight or flight reflex manifests itself. This reflex, honed by millennia of adaptive human survival behavior, results in increased heart rate and cardiac output, higher blood pressure, accelerated respiration, greater carbohydrate metabolism, and virtually instantaneous supercharging of the body. This stimulation is attributable to the adrenal glands above the kidneys, which produces steroidal hormones, and the hormones and neurotransmitters epinephrine, adrenaline, and norepinephrine, responsible for constricting blood vessels and dilating bronchi in the lungs. The stress, rage, and fear which overwhelm the intended victim thus create a bodily alarm reaction, which expresses itself as a period of greater strength and faster speed, accompanied by near-impervious reaction to pain. At the same time, fine motor skills grossly deteriorate, dexterity noticeably decreases, and the hands, arms, and legs may tremble. The intended victim may also likely experience an altered state of perception as well. One indeed is not calm, cool, and collected. The perception of time may become distorted. With the body alarm reaction, the mind processes stimuli at a fantastically accelerated rate when compared to normal. The result may be the perception that activities are occurring in slow motion, even though movements of the event may actually be extremely fast. The reverse may also occur. The event may seem to transpire faster than one would expect. In its incredibly heightened state of awareness, the mind of the intended victim tends to focus with tunnel vision on the identified threat. This results in the exclusion of normal peripheral vision. Knowledge of this potential visual reaction to an attack is valuable in the event one is ever faced with multiple assailants. The perception of hearing, like vision, may also be drastically affected during a life-threatening encounter. The mind screens out everything that is extraneous to immediate survival, resulting in auditory exclusion. The distorted perception of hearing may mute sounds, sirens, and screams. You may not even hear your own gunfire. This sensory response was employed with considerable dramatic effect by Steven Spielberg and his motion picture, Saving Private Ryan. The fight or flight reflex allows the mind to draw upon memory resources that are not normally used. The intended victim may experience a sense of precognition, an anticipation response to a subconsciously perceived sequence of circumstances. You see it coming, even though to the casual observer no violent threat as yet exists. Be prepared to experience a denial response to a life or death situation. One tends to seek mental and emotional shelter in normalcy. When this state of mind is horrifically shattered, the intended victim's reaction may be, "This can't be happening." One may experience hysterical blindness during or after an attack. Essentially, the mind refuses to visualize any longer a terrifying event perceived by the eyes. This may translate into fleeing the scene of an attack, even if one successfully and legally used lethal force to survive the incident. Needless to say, law enforcement officials will take a dim view of this evasion. In a highly trained person who has practiced to a degree that the body's reaction to a stimulus is automatic, the fight or flight reflex may create the illusion of watching oneself. The body movement is so fast, without the guidance of deliberate thought, that one's conscious mind can't keep up. The highest manifestation of the phenomenon of observing oneself occurs as in out-of-body experience. Due to trauma, the mind's survival instinct drives all senses into a state of profound and unparalleled perception. From sounds and recalled sights, the mind is able to generate three-dimensional images. The out-of-body experience is often combined with a celestial death. During this state, one sees a brilliant bright tunnel or vortex of intense white light. One may also spiritually encounter loved ones who have passed on. The celestial death may be experienced by those who are clinically dead, who miraculously recover, as well as by those victims of an attack who believe them to be mortally wounded, near imminent death. After a life-threatening encounter, the intended victim may occasionally revert to a state similar to that of sleepwalking, seeming to be in a zombie-like trance. Confusion is a state of mind commonly experienced by an intended victim who has survived a life or death encounter. Manifestations include remembering events out of sequence, exaggerating the importance of trivial incidents, and forgetting important events due to short-term memory loss. The ramifications of the foregoing physical-psychological aspects of encountering, enduring, and evading a life-threatening violent attack is obvious. Recognize in yourself how your body and mind may react, and prepare yourself accordingly to the extent possible. Mental preparedness is one aspect of self-defense. Likewise, it is apparent that an intended victim who has survived a violent encounter is not going to be in the best frame of mind to immediately recount details of the incident to law enforcement authorities. Physically, the adrenaline rush which supercharged the body has given way to a precipitous decline in energy, and the intended victim is likely exhausted and confused. For these reasons, it is not a good idea to give legal statements regarding an attack right away, especially if the attack was terminated by the justifiable use of deadly force on your part. Rather, politely advise the police officers that you understand your rights. Then get some rest, collect your thoughts, and consult with an attorney.